1970s, in her book Mixed Blessings, Lucy R. Lippard merged her artworld concerns with those of the then fledgling women's movement. In a career that spans 16 books and scores of articles, catalogs, and essays on art, political activism, feminism, and multiculturalism, her engaging and provocative writings have heralded a new way of thinking about art and its role in the feminist movement. Multiculturalism is the acceptance or promotion of multiple ethnic cultures applied to the demographic makeup of a specific place, usually at the organizational level. In this context, multiculturalists advocate extending equitable status to distinct ethnic and religious groups without promoting any specific ethnic, religious, and cultural community values as central. The policy of multiculturalism is often contrasted with the concepts of assimilationism and social integration. In the United States, continuous mass immigration had been a feature of economy and society since the first half of the 19th century. The absorption of the stream immigrants became in itself a prominent feature of America's national myth. The idea of the melting pot is a metaphor that implies that all the immigrant cultures are mixed and amalgamated without state intervention. According to Lippard, race is still commonly used when culture is meant to connote, as Gates observes, some unspecific essence or feeling, the ultimate irreducible difference between cultures, linguistic groups, or adherents of specific belief systems, which more often than not also have fundamentally opposed economic interests. The word racism is a historical rather than a scientific construct. African American and Latino American artists have been acknowledged only in the recent years in the 1980s. Ironically, the first Americans are the last ones to receive commercial and institutional attention. Unfortunately, the boundaries being talked are not just racial and national, but of gender and class, of values and belief systems, of religion and politics. In countries like the United States, artists have become separated from their audience and respond to only the consumers who buy their work. Again, there remain some artists whose works are appreciated, but they are not given the quality want, and they get suppressed due to official and self-censorship. Often, competent art by the people of color is welcomed with silence or with cries of exaggerated pleasure. Modernism gives way to a broad and diverse variety of techniques and cultures. Major women artists in the 20th century are associated with postmodern art, since much theoretical articulation of their work emerged from French psychoanalysis and feminist theory that is strongly related to postmodern philosophy. There was a constant struggle for the rights of the women artists and the artists of color up till 1960s, when the feminist movement gave them somewhat independence of work and identity and equality with the Euro-Americans. The artists of color engage in a struggle to promote subjectivity. But again, this personal subjectivity leads to a rebellious politics which in turn is a threat to the society. There is again a major distinction between the first world artists and the third world artists. Artists of color has now replaced the third world artists. Vietnamese American filmmaker Trinh T. Minh Ha has insisted that there is a third world in every first world and vice versa. Ethnicism, says Lippert, is also an excluded phenomenon as it poses problems among people. The concept of minority artists exists for the people of color who are in minorities in the United States and Canada, but not globally. Responding to the question emerging up at a panel discussion in 1988, Korean-American artist Yong Soon Mui points out that even within economically developed countries like Japan, the concept of third world remains valid politically, as they had experienced colonialism and a resistance to Western imperialism. In one of her essays, Lippert mentions that the artists believe, hope, and heal. They have a common idea towards an ethnocentric culture. There is a mission for art too. Culture includes the entire fabric of life. Art, thus when viewed from different angles, form beautiful art objects with new definitions. So, the terms cross-cultural, transcultural and multicultural are interchangeable. Lippert emphasizes on the term intercultural. Thus, we require to have a universally accepted